Hello everyone, welcome to the session on time and work actual questions of TG and AP ICET. In this session, we will be focusing on the original questions given on this particular topic, time and work. And let's move on to the questions given in those AP and TG ICET examinations. Right. Before we start, do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Time for ICET, and click on the bell icon to get latest updates and videos. So let's look at the first question here. The question is in this way. 6 women can make 12 toys in 4 days, working 6 hours per day. In how many days can 8 women make 24 toys, working 4 hours per day? So in this particular question, if you are observing, there are groups of people, like 6 women in the first case, and second case 8 women are working. As the group of people are working here, we will be using variation concept to answer the question. So, and using the variation concept, what is the formula that we are having? M1 D1 H1 by W1 should be equal to M2 D2 H2 by W2. Right. So where M represents the number of men, but in this case it is number of women we are having. D represents the number of days and H represents the number of hours. And W represents basically the work that we are having. And 1 for first case, 2 for second case, in that way. So if you are looking at the first case, 6 women are working and they are making 12 toys. So the work done in the first case will become W1 will be 12. In how many days? 4 days. So it is 4 is the D1 value. And H in the first case, how many hours per day? 6 hours per day. Right. In the second case, how many women we are having? 8 women are working. How many days we have to find out? And the number of hours working per day in the second case is given as 4. And they are making how many toys? 24 toys. So work in the second case will be 24, we can say. So if you are observing carefully, 12 will go here 2 times, right? And 4 will be cancelling, basically 4 directly we can say, and 2 will go 4 times here. So 36 is equal to 4D2. So that means D2 is nothing but 36 by 4, 9 we can say. So it's an easy question to answer. If you are aware of the formula, much easier to answer the question. So let's look at the second question that we are having here. Working 6 hours a day, 15 men can complete a road work in 24 days. In addition to 15 men, some more men are employed and all of them work 8 hours a day, can complete the same work in 15 days. Then the number of additional men employed is the question. So here also, if you are observing, again group of people are working, so we will be using variation concept to answer the question. So in the variation concept formula enti M1 D1 H1 by W1 is equal to M2 D2 H2 by W2. So in this case we have men only working. So first case, how many men work chestunaru? It is 15 men are working. And how many days? It is 24 days he has mentioned. And there is no data about the hours here, so that is assumed to be same in both the cases. Alane, work is given to be the same anyway we are having. So only question that we are having is, additionally, how many men are joining? Let us assume some X men are joining. Right. And the work should be completed in how many days is the data? Sorry, the hours is mentioned here as first time it is 6 hours, second time it is 8 hours. So first time 6, second time we are having D2 is 15 and hours as 8 we are having there, right? So if you are observing carefully, 15 and 15 can be cancelled and 8 will go in 24 3 times. So 3 6 times is 18. So 18 is equal to 15 plus X gabatti. X is equal to 50, 18 minus 15, 3 we can say. So answer will become basically 3. So it should be choice 4 we can say, right? And if the work is, if the hours are not mentioned, we will assume that it will be same in both the cases. Then we'll proceed by considering the number of men and number of days directly. Whatever the variables that are given, we will focus on only those variables. So let's look at the next one. Here, 2 pipes A and B can fill an empty tank in 16 hours and 12 hours respectively. The pipes are used alternatively for 1 hour each, starting with pipe A at 9 AM. Then the time at which the tank is filled is the question. So if you are observing carefully, this question is mainly dealing with 2 things. One is pipes and it is dealing with alternate hours basically. Okay. And manaki ICET examination ganaka తీసుకుంటే every year we are finding the questions on pipes and cisterns along with time and work. So this is one important model on pipes and cisterns we can say. And one more important thing is they are working alternatively. So what do we mean by working alternatively means, if we have pipe A is working for the first hour, it will be working again on the alternate hour, that will be third hour. Again it will be working on the alternate hour, that is fifth hour. Alane pipe B ganaka తీసుకుంటే it will be working on second hour and it will be working on basically the next alternate hour to the second hour, which is fourth hour. So it will be working on every even hour, like second hour, fourth hour, sixth hour, in that way we'll be having, right? So according to the data, it is A is taking 16 hours, B is taking 12 hours. And instead of going by that conventional method, when we have these type of questions, the best thing is go for LCM approach. LCM approach enti ante ganaka, what are be the numbers given to us, take the LCM of those numbers as the total work. Like what are the numbers that we are having here? 16 and 12. 16 3 is 48, alane 12 4 is 48 kabatti LCM will become basically 48. So let the capacity of the tank that we are dealing be 48 liters. If 48 liters tank ni, if pipe A is filling in 16 hours, what we understand, every hour 48 liters by 16, that is it will fill 3 liters per hour. Alane pipe B ganaka తీసుకుంటే it is filling that 48 liters in 12 hours, so which will be 4 liters per hour, right? So in that case, these are the working rates that we understand. So as A is starting here, starting with pipe A at 9 a.m. he has mentioned. So 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. pipe A will be working, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. pipe B will be working. So in those 2 hours, they will be basically filling 3 liters plus 4 liters, that is 7 liters, we understand. And in the case of time and work, we can say alternate hours, every 2 hours the work is constant. So now what we understand, next 2 hours also again 7 liters will be filled. And in that way, what we need to focus is, what is the nearest multiple of the total work that they are doing, right, out of the total capacity that we are having. What is the total capacity we are assuming as 48 liters. So 48 ki kanna takku unna 7 multiple we have to take up, which we will be considering for multiplication purpose. So 7 6 times is 42 kabatti we consider multiplying this 2 hours work with 6 on both sides. That means what we can say, 12 hours low they will fill 42 liters, right? Now 13th hour వచ్చేసి whichever is starting will be working in on every alternate hour, I mean every odd hour. Like as A is starting, it will be working on first hour, third hour, in that way. So what we can say is 13th hour also A works. We know A fills 3 liters per hour. So next hour వచ్చేసి A will fill 3 liters. So as of now 45 liters fill అయింది, right? 14th hour it will be B is working. B actually can fill how many liters per hour? 4 liters. మనకున్న కెపాసిటీ ఎంత? 48 liters. Out of that, how much is filled already? 45. అంటే 3 liters గ్యాప్ ఉంది మనకి. సో ఈ 3 liters కి మనకు B ఫుల్ గా యూజ్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం ఉందా అంటే లేదు, ఎందుకంటే B can actually fill 1 liter per hour 4 liters, but to be filled is only 3 liters. So what we can say is, if it can fill in 1 hour 4 liters, to fill 3 liters, how much time we have to use? I think that is what we have to identify, which is nothing but what we can say, 3 into 1 by 4. That is nothing but 3/4 of an hour we can say. 3/4 of an hour is nothing but 45 minutes we know. So basically what we understand, here already 13 hours are over plus 45 minutes. So it will be completely filled in 13 hours 45 minutes from A starting of 9 a.m. That is what is the answer. So 9 a.m. to 12 hours, if you are considering 9 p.m. directly we can say. From there 1 hour 45 minutes will be 10:45 p.m. So answer for this question should be choice 3. Slightly lengthy, but if you are going for this approach, it is easy we can say. Let's look at the next question. Working independently, A and B can complete a piece of work in 6 days and 10 days respectively. Now A starts the work and after 2 days B joins A. In how many days will the work be completed from the day A starts working is the question. So whenever we have these type of questions, that the 2 persons or 3 persons who are is working are not completely working for the entire time, best thing is go for framing the equation for the given situation. Like in how many days will the work be completed? Let us assume the work will be completed X days from the moment A starts. Right? That is what is the question, because the work in how many days will the work be completed from the day A starts. So that is X days. And B is joining 2 days later, means if you are observing carefully, all X days A will be working, right or not? Whereas B will be working 2 days less than what A has worked. So that will be X minus 2 days of B's work. Both together are completing the whole work. So the total work is always taken as 1 unit, right? So X days of A's working plus X minus 2 days of B's working should be equal to 1, we can say, right? So A in 1 day will complete 1 by 6. X days he will complete X by 6, we can say. B in 1 day can complete 1 by 10. X minus 2 days, X minus 2 by 10 he will complete. That should be equal to 1. So LCM will become basically what? 30. 6 5 is 30, 10 3 is 30. 6 will go 5 times, means 5x, we can say. Alane 10 వచ్చేసి 30 లో 3 times పోతుంది కాబట్టి it will be 3 times of x minus 2 should be equal to 1, we can say, right? So now if you are observing carefully, this is 8x here minus 6. If you are bringing to the other side, it will become plus 6. So 30 into 1, 30 plus 6, 36. So what we understand, x will become 36 by 8, which is nothing but 4 9s and 4 2s. 9 by 2 is nothing but 4.5 hours. So what we understand, it will be filled in, I mean the work will be done in 4.5 days starting from A, who is working first there basically. So whenever we have this type of situations are given where both the persons are more than 2 persons, if you are having 3 persons, 4 persons, if they are not working, better go for framing the equation like this. Let's look at the next one. Time taken by A to finish a work is twice the time taken by B and thrice the time taken by C. If all of them work together, it takes 2 days to complete the entire work. Then the time taken by A, B and C individually to finish the work is basically how many days is the question, right? So if you are observing carefully, according to the first statement, we are having the time taken relationship. Time taken by A is twice the time taken by B. So time taken by A is equal to 2 times of time taken by B. And it is what we are having further, thrice the time taken by C also. So time taken by A is 3 times the time taken by C. This is the data that we are having. So if you are bringing the TB to this set, time taken by A to time taken by B, the ratio, it is 2:1. Alane, ikkada time taken by A to time taken by C will be in the ratio 3:1, right? And whenever we have time taken is given, we can convert that into actually the efficiencies part, that is working rates part. So working rate of A to that of working rate of B will become exactly reverse of this. If you are having only 2 variables considering, like this will become 1:2. Because as time taken by A is twice that of the time taken by B, he is actually doing half the work that B is able to do. Alane ikkada work done by A to work done by C, working rates will be in the ratio 1:3. So what we understand finally, working rates of A, B and C, if you are looking at, A is 1 part in both the cases, so I don't have to make them equal, already they are equal. 2 parts for B and 3 parts for C. So what is the ratio of their working rates? 1:2:3, right? So with, if all 3 are working, it will be 6 parts of their work will be progressing. And if all 3 are working, it takes how many days is the data? 2 days. So with 6 parts of working rate, they are able to complete the work in 2 days and is the data, right? And what we have to find out now, the individual times. So if you are looking at only A is working, so he'll put only 1 part of his efficiency to complete the work. So efficiency and time taken will be basically inversely varying. So what we can say is, if 2 variables vary inversely, the product in the first case should be equal to the product in the second case. Cross multiplication we will not be doing. Keep that point, important point in mind. So 6 into 2 should be equal to 1 into question mark. So question mark will become basically 12. And if you are observing carefully, among the choices, 12 is there in only choice 2. So we don't have to find the times taken by B and C actually. But for our understanding, we just quickly look at that one. 6 parts if it is 2 days, B's efficiency is 2 parts. So how much we can say? 6 into 2 should be equal to 2 into time taken by B. So that will become 2 cancels, means 6 days. So for B it will be 6. For C it will become 6 into 2 is equal to 3 into question mark. 3 will go 2 times, means 2 2s, it will be 4. So what we can say is, answer for this question should be choice 2. It's an easy question if you know this particular concept, working rates and efficiencies relationship in that way. Right. The next one, two persons A and B can complete a piece of work in 16 and 24 days respectively. A started the work alone. After a few days, B joined him and the work is finished in a total of 12 days. After how many days did B join A is the question. So here also this is the two persons are not working for the entire time together. So better we go for the framing of equation. But in this particular case, the advantage that we are having is A is starting the work and all 12 days, as the work is taken in 12 days, all 12 days A is working abati. You have a big advantage of how much work is contributed or done by A in the total portion. So A, if he works for 1 day, he'll complete how much? 1 by 16. As the work is done in 12 days, all 12 days he is working. So if he works for 1 day, he'll complete 1 by 16. 12 days if he is working, 12 by 16 he'll be completing. That is nothing but 3/4. So 3/4 work is done by A and A. The balance 1/4, because work is always taken as 1 unit. The balance 1/4 work is done by B. Right? And we know B can complete the whole work in how many days? 24 days. Whole work, if it is 24 days, 1/4 work to complete that one, how many days he has to work? So what we can say, it will be 1/4 of 24. He should work for 6 days. Okay. So out of the total days, B is working for 6 days. What is the question? After how many days did B join? So as the work is completed in 12 days and he can complete his portion in 6 days, he should be joining 6 days later, we can say. So answer for this question should be choice 3. Right? If you are having, let's say, B is completing 1/6 work, he requires to work only 4 days. So if the work is completed in 12 days, as he requires to work only for 4 days, he should be joining 8 days later. That is how we will be answering this question. Let's look at the next one. Two pipes A and B can complete a piece of work in, two persons basically, in 24 days. B and C can complete the same work in 30 days. If A works twice as much as C, then in how many days B alone can complete that work is the question. Right. So here also A and B, they are able to complete the work in 24 days is the data. And B and C, they are able to complete the work in 30 days. So if you observe here, better we take the LCM method so that we can answer the question at a faster rate for this particular scenario. LCM method is basically nothing but LCM of the given works will be taking as the total work. That is what we have discussed. So 24 and 30, LCM వచ్చేసి 120. ఎందుకంటే 24 5 is 120 and 34 is 120. Right. So 120 units work, if it is the work is there. A and B, if they are completing in 24 days, per day they are completing 120 by 24, 5 units we can say. Right? 5 units per day. Alane B and C, they are completing that 120 units in 30 days kabatti 4 units per day they are completing. Right? So if you are observing carefully, from this if we subtract this one, A is doing 1 unit more than C per day we can say. Right or not? From this one, if you subtract B cancels, it is simply A minus C is 1 unit. And what he has mentioned, if A works twice as much as C, that means if C makes X units, A will make 2X units per day. So 2X minus X, X is given as basically, I write it as 2X minus X is given as 1. So X will be 1 unit we can say. Right or not? And if X is 1 unit, basically, what we understand, A completes 2X units means 2 units. Right or not? 2 units per day. Whereas A and B together they are completing 5 units per day. That means what we understand, B basically completes 3 units per day. ఎందుకంటే క్వశ్చన్ లో మనం అడుగుతున్నది how many days B alone will complete the work. So 120 units work ni, if B completes 3 units per day, what we understand, he will complete 120 by 3, the whole thing in 40 days. Right? So that is the answer for this question we can say. Let's move on to the next question. A pipe can fill a tank in 5 hours. Due to a leak at the bottom, it is filled in 10 hours. If the tank is full, then the time that the leak takes to empty the tank is the question. The tank is the question. So if you are observing carefully, filling pipe is taking 5 hours. So what we understand, in 1 hour it will be filling 1/5 part. Emptying pipe, there is no data. So let us assume it is emptying the whole tank in X hours. So per hour it will be emptying 1/X. Right? So if both are working, this will be filling 1/5 of the tank in 1 hour, whereas this will empty 1 by x in 1 hour of that work, we can say. And if both are there, that means if the leak is not closed, the tank is full in 10 hours is the data. So it will be 1 hour, 1 by 10th is fill is the data. So what we understand, we have to bring 1 by x to this side and 1 by 10 to this side. So 1 by x is equal to 1 by 5 minus 1 by 10. It will become basically 10 is the LCM, 5 will go 2 times, 10 will go 1 time. So 1 by x is equal to 1 by 10. Basically indicates x is equal to 10, we can say. 1 by x is equal to 1 by 10. Basically x should be 10. So in how many hours the leak will empty the whole tank means it is 10 hours, we can say, right? So it's an easy question, straightforward question, we can say. Let's look at the next one. Two pipes A and B can separately fill an empty cistern in 48 minutes and 60 minutes respectively. If both A and B are opened together and after 20 minutes B is turned off, then how many minutes will it take for the cistern to be filled? Almost like the previous question that we have dealt with A and B, again that person's case. Here it is pipes case we are having there. So if you are observing carefully, 48 minutes for A and 60 minutes for B, that is the data that we are having, right or not? So what we understand there is, as A is working for, first 20 minutes both are working. What we can say is, if A works for 1 hour, 1 minute, it will be filling 1 by 48th part. B in 1 minute, 1 by 60th part. 20 minutes, A will fill 20 by 1 by 48, which will be nothing but what we can say, 4 5s and 4 12s, right or not? In the same way for B, it will be 20 into 1 by 60, which is 1 by 3, right? So 1/3 is filled by B and 5 by 12 is filled by A. And now what we can say is, as 12 is the denominator here, multiply the numerator with 4 and denominator with 4. So what we can say, it will become basically 4 by 12 here. So in those 20 minutes, they filled basically 5 by 12 plus 4 by 12. That is nothing but 9 by 12 of the tank is filled. 9 by 12 is nothing but what? 3 by 4. So 3/4 of the tank is filled means 1/4 has to be filled now. Now to fill the whole tank, only A is working. A can fill whole tank in 48 minutes. To be filled is only 1/4. So how much time it will be taking? We can say 1/4 of 48. It will be 12 minutes. Ante kada? So now the question is total time taken. Already 20 minutes before B turned off. After that 12 minutes, it will be 20 plus 12, 32 minutes, we can say. So answer for this question should be choice 4, right? Doable, slightly lengthy question. Let's look at the next question. Pipe A can fill an empty tank in 6 hours and another pipe B can empty the full tank in 4 hours. Pipe A is opened at 6 a.m. and after 3 hours, pipe B is opened. The time by which the tank will be empty is, why the empty means because the time pipe B which can empty is actually taking less time than the one that is filling the tank, right? So if you are observing carefully, A can fill the tank in 6 hours. B can empty it in 4 hours. So what is the LCM of these two? 12. So if the capacity of the tank is taken as 12 liters, A fills 12 by 6, 2 liters per hour it will fill. Whereas B will empty 12 by 4, 3 liters per hour. That is what is the understanding, right? So pipe A is open at what time? 6 a.m. and after 3 hours means at 9 a.m. pipe is open. So pipe B is open. So in those 3 hours, A will fill 3 into 2, 6 liters, we can say, right or not? Now when both A and B are working from there onwards, what we understand is effectively A pumps 2 liters into the tank, whereas B will pull out 3 liters from the tank. So what we understand is 1 liter is coming out of the tank every 1 hour. So to get the tank to be emptied, 6 liters should come out. So what we can say, for every hour 1 liter means 6 liters, it will be 6 hours. So 6 hours from B opens. B is opened at what time? 9 a.m. So from 9 a.m. it will be 6 hours we have to count. So which is nothing but 3 p.m. So what we can say, the tank will be empty by 3 p.m. So in that way, we have this question which is dealing with pipes and cisterns, right? So with that, we have basically done with our calculation part. And please do subscribe to our Telegram channel, YouTube channel, and for any of the time bombing coaching, please visit our nearest offices. Thank you, all of you.